Every day, something dramatic happens in the Caribbean that affects our lives. We'll give you the details. We'll give you the facts on Caribbean Perspective with Eddie Frederick. How's Eddie Frederick?
So glad you can join us. Opposition Member of Parliament in Trinidad and Tobago says Justice Stanley John retired must speak. This story takes the lead in today's edition of Caribbean Perspective for Wednesday, 2nd February 2022. Details when we return.
Conveniently located in the Grand Shopping Centre, for over 40 years, Food Fair has provided quality service at affordable prices. Now, grocery shopping is made easier and more convenient from the Food Fair web store.
Hey, babe. Listen, I need you to go down to Food Fair to get some groceries.
All right, no problem. Right away.
Thanks, babe. What are you doing? You're supposed to be going Food Fair to get a grocery, man.
I am, but didn't you know you can order your groceries online from the Food Fair web store?
Are you serious?
Of course. All you have to do is just to log on to www.foodfair.gd with credit card in hand, and with an order of $100 or more, Food Fair Grandans will deliver up to 3 miles away. And you don't even have to worry about your information, you know. Their safety measures are excellent.
So hold on. You just order online and Food Fair will deliver to you?
Yep.
Oh, baby, better hurry up and order, man.
I already did. They should be here any minute now.
Enjoy easy online shopping anytime from your home or office from the Food Fair web store. Food Fair, where you can fill your baskets without emptying your pockets.
Welcome back. Opposition Member of Parliament Dr. Rudal Munilal says, of the many people who have questions to answer arising out of the fiasco in the selection of a police commissioner, the public seems to have forgotten one key element. Dr. Munilal is calling on retired Justice Stanley John to speak up. TV6's Renessa Cutting reports.
Reading from a copy of a letter from the Police Service Commission to retired Justice Stanley John, which was acquired through the Freedom of Information Act, Dr. Munilal raised questions as to the actual mandate and purview of the retired justice.
Would you believe this is the terms of reference? This is the letter. This is the letter, Dave. This is the letter. 2 lines. They say, Mr. Stanley John, retired, could you please investigate allegations of corruption in the issuance of firearm users license and the handling of a reported incident at sea involving the head of the legal unit of Trinidad and Tobago Police Service. That's all. No terms of reference, nothing else. And they say, oh, investigate that because it may have something to do with the decision on selection and appointment of Commissioner of Police.
Calling the situation scandalous, Dr. Munilal also noted that Mr. Stanley John, in a letter dated September 18th, indicated to Mr. Griffith that his remit did not involve any investigation into Mr. Griffith in his capacity as the then acting police commissioner.
Really, you don't know at what level he was investigating and what exactly he was doing, because it had more to do with the head of the legal unit of the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service than with any appointment for commissioner and so on. But I guess Mr. John would tell us about that in due course.
However, the retired justice's report centered around what he described as a well-oiled criminal exercise being conducted under the nose of the then Commissioner of Police, Gary Griffith.
This is the only country where a government spends all its energy to discover how law-abiding citizens got firearms.
Dr. Munilal is calling on retired Justice John to tell the public why he would have submitted the report to the National Security Council when he was hired by the Police Service Commission.
And Mr. Hines, the Minister of National Security, is saying it is in the public record that the politicians, ministers that constitute a subcommittee of cabinet received the report from Mr. John retired. Mr. John, please speak to me. I would just like to know on what basis the report was handed to politicians whose names were also allegedly in that report.
The former Commissioner of Police is on record as stating that this constitutes a conflict of interest, as during the course of the investigation he would have submitted the name of a minister who currently sits on the said National Security Council, and who he says would have been in receipt of a 5.56 firearm for over a period of 1 year, without payment to the dealer. Renessa Cutting, TV6 News.
Meantime, the joint trades union movement in Trinidad and Tobago has sought to condemn plans by Scotiabank to retrench some 150 workers starting in March. More in this TTT News item.
Trade union movement says the bank's move comes after it has declared hundreds of millions in profit already for the current financial year and claimed to have received awards for Bank of the Year. The trade union body is questioning the corporate social responsibility of the Canadian multinational bank. It underscores that with the declaration of large profits, the bank must justify to the Ministry of Labour the sudden need to restructure under the guise of digitalization. JTUM is concerned that Scotiabank plans to outsource jobs and some of its backroom services to the Dominican Republic, which they say is known for the use of cheap labor and the exploitation of workers. The union notes this action is untimely as it will affect their workers, some of whom are single parents and the sole breadwinners of their families, while facing increased food and other commodity prices. JTUM is calling upon Scotiabank to immediately rescind this decision and to meet with the workers and their representatives to explore alternative solutions. They are also calling on the Minister of Labour, Stephen McClatchy, to act to avert what the union calls an impending crisis.
You're listening to Caribbean Perspective with Eddie Frederick.
Barbados' Tourism and International Transport Minister Lisa Cummings has challenged the local companies to expand their reach into international markets so they too can have greater influence on supply networks. More in this Barbados Today news report.
Cummings made the call at the recent launch of Women in Maritime Association Caribbean Barbados chapter at the Radisson Aquatica Resort.
One of the things that I would want to ask the shipping community here tonight, and I want to throw a challenge to you, I've thrown it out to the tourism partners. I've asked the tourism partners on more than one occasion, why is there no sandals originating from Barbados? Why is there no equivalent of sandals? What is our objection to establishing a commercial presence of Barbadian brands overseas? Why is there no shipping company that is not an intermediary, that is a global entity owned by Barbadian capital? Why is there no nearshoring off of Miami in particular that is owned by Barbadian capital that takes control of a larger percentage of the supply chain? How do we remove intermediaries in terms of the ownership, not just locally, but taking Barbadian expertise, all of the people that Norman spoke about, who have come through the industry for a really long time? I want to be able to see that expertise, that skill, and the many people who I see in this room who I know are in the industry. I want to see your skills globalized with access to capital by being able to own global shipping franchises.
Cummins added that with the cost of goods skyrocketing because of challenges in the global supply chain, it is critical that stakeholders in the maritime space become majority shareholders in key areas if the island is to better control the cost of imported goods.
Be a part of the solution to cost of living issues facing our people by becoming a part of the ownership class of the global maritime and the shipping industry and the supply chain, where you are at the top, not at the bottom, not at the middle, not in the lower stage, but at the very top of the maritime shipping community. And I want to be able to ensure that certainly in the port of Barbados and Bridgetown Port, that this is a conversation with the entire shipping community that I intend to have very early up in the next couple of weeks.
Jamaica's Director of Public Prosecutions ruled no criminal charges to be laid on former Agriculture Minister Floyd Green for alleged role in the Risk Management Disaster Act in September last year. Details in this TVJ News report.
Floyd Green resigned his post following public uproar last year over this video which showed persons at the R Hotel seemingly mocking the No Movement Day introduced by the government to curtail the spread of the coronavirus. Mr. Green apologized for his actions. He was recently reappointed to the cabinet by Prime Minister Andrew Holness as Minister without portfolio in the Office of the Prime Minister. In a statement today, Director of Public Prosecutions Paula Llewellyn said after extensive legal research, It was her considered opinion that no criminal charges ought to be laid against Mr. Green, his former advisor Gabriel Hilton, Councillor Andrew Bellamy, and Dave Powell, an employee of the National Solid Waste Management Authority. In the ruling, a copy of which was sent to the media, the office of the DPP said, in examining the Ministry of Tourism health protocols, it considered the issue of the absence of face masks being worn by patrons at the restaurant. It said there's no requirement under the protocols for patrons to wear face masks while at the bar or restaurant within the compound. As such, the fact that the patrons in the videos were not wearing masks does not constitute a breach of the protocols of the Principal Act. The ruling also noted that the video depicts some 19 persons standing and seated in one specific area without any social distancing. This, according to the ruling, is arguably a breach of the Ministry of Tourism protocols. It is that breach why the DPP's office is recommending that criminal charges may be laid against the R Hotel for breach of the DRMA for its failure to abide by the Ministry of Tourism protocols relating to the manner in which the guests congregated in the dining area at the material time. The DPP's office said the Ministry of Tourism health protocols creates rules regarding the number of persons which may be gathered in a dining area, as well as states that there shall be no congregating at a bar within the facility. As such, the protocols place a responsibility on the hotel to manage its guests and to ensure that there is safety in respect of the operations of the facility. The other issue is that the persons seen in the video were at our hotel on a day which was declared a no-movement day. The DPP's office argued that a video which depicts persons physically present at a location does not assist in making a determination as to when such persons arrived at the particular location. The DPP's office said where such persons are shown to be present at a hotel facility, taken at its highest, it demonstrates that they may have been guests at the facility at the material time. It does not assist in respect of when they commenced being guests at the facility or when they left the facility. This information, they argued, would have been useful certainly in respect of the persons who did not enjoy full exemptions from the no-movement orders. On that point of exemption, Floyd Green was a Member of Parliament and the Minister of Agriculture and Fisheries at the time. In the case of Andrew Bellamy, he was asked in a question and answer session concerning whether he was a councillor of the Mona Division at the material time. He made no comment. However, the DPP's office says it appears that he may have been a councillor at the material time. Mr. Green and Mr. Bellamy would have benefited from exemptions since MPs and councillors can leave their place of abode without restriction.
Conveniently located in the Grandin Shopping Centre, for over 40 years, Food Fair has provided quality service at affordable prices. Now, grocery shopping is made easier and more convenient from the Food Fair web store.
Hey, babe. Listen, I need you to go down to Food Fair to get some groceries.
All right, no problem. Right away.
Thanks, babe. What are you doing? You're supposed to be going Food Fair to get a grocery, man.
I am, but didn't you know you can order your groceries online from the Food Fair web store?
Are you serious?
Of course. All you have to do is just to log on to www.foodfair.gd with credit card in hand, and with an order of $100 or more, Food Fair granaries will deliver up to 3 miles away. And you don't even have to worry about your information, you know. Their safety measures are excellent.
So hold on. You just order online and Food Fair will deliver to you?
Yep.
Oh, baby, better hurry up and order, man.
I already did. They should be here any minute now.
Enjoy easy online shopping anytime from your home or office from the Food Fair web store. Food Fair, where you can fill your baskets without emptying your pockets.
I am Eddie Frederick. This has been Caribbean Perspective, a whole new approach to highlighting developments in the Caribbean. In the meantime, please continue to log on to CaribbeanPerspective.com for more daily news and more.